Hi, I'm Liz. Welcome to Cozy Home. I would like to share with you a dessert that my family loves. It's chocolate creme brulee, and it's very easy to do. So I wanted to share with you all the tools up front that you would need. I have 4 ramekins because we're going to make this for 4. We have vanilla extract, a teaspoon, a tablespoon, a 2-quart Pyrex measuring cup. We have a nice size dish that you could put into the oven that would fit all 4 of the ramekins. And then we also have a 1/3 cup of granulated pure sugar. It's right here as an example of what I'm using. And then I also have 4 eggs, 1 for each ramekin here. And then we also have a container, since we're going to separate the egg yolks from the egg, where we can put the white of the egg into a container ready to go into the fridge to use for another recipe or even for breakfast the next morning, which is what I like to do. So to get started, I always start with the oven. We will turn that on at 300 degrees. Separate the whites from the yolk, egg whites from the yolk. From this point, after I have the 4 egg yolks, I make sure I add a 1/3 of a cup of pure cane granulated sugar. So you want a 1/3 of a cup of granulated sugar. So I have mine pre-measured here, ready to go. And what I do is I just pour this in with the egg yolks. I kind of mix this together some until it gets kind of a creamy consistency and the sugar starts looking yellow like the egg yolk. I'm using a fork. Certainly you could be fancier than this. I like to just do everything by hand when it comes to stirring with this, since it's such a quick, easy recipe. But if you have a mixer, feel free to use a mixer if you'd like. At this point, I like to add in, ooh, the oven's ready. I like to add in my vanilla extract. So I use a teaspoon of this, and I go ahead and I pour this in right after the egg yolks and the sugar. Of course, you could do it in any order that you'd like. So it's all going to be mixed in together. And then once I mix that together some, real quickly with my fork here, I like to put in a generous 1/2 tablespoon of the pure chocolate cocoa powder. So this chocolate cocoa powder is very healthy for you, but this does not have any sugar in it. So I put a generous 1/2 tablespoon or so, just kind of eyeball it, depending if you like it to be more with the chocolate flavor or less. That's up to you. But I'd say at least a 1/2 tablespoon. And then we mix this all together. And the reason why it's important to do the chocolate at this step is if I add the heavy cream, because you will need 2 cups of heavy cream, it will have chunks of chocolate in it unless you mix the chocolate in with the eggs and the sugar and the vanilla extract first. So I kind of mix this until it starts looking like it's some sort of a batter, a chocolate batter. It almost looks like I'm getting ready to make a chocolate cake, except it's a very small chocolate cake, maybe 1 cupcake. This has a lot of sugar. That's why we didn't want to have the sugar in the chocolate. All right, so when I'm done mixing all of this, this is where I can add my heavy cream. So you want 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. I love these little containers because it's pre-measured, ready to go. And what you're gonna do is pour it in little by little, not all right away, just a little bit at a time. And then with my fork, I stir it in so that way it looks like there's chocolate swirls and creamy milk. Just keep stirring it right here. And then just pour a little bit more. So this is the part that probably takes the most time with the mixing. If you have a mixer, you can go much faster than I am right now. But as you can see, real simple. 1/3 cup sugar, 4 egg yolks, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, half a tablespoon, generous tablespoon I would say, of pure chocolate cocoa. And then I'm taking 2 cups of my heavy cream, and I am just mixing it in little by little, not all at once. What we try to do is make sure there aren't any bubbles as we're mixing, but if you do get bubbles, there is a trick to get them out, which I will share with you. But usually when I do it in this order, I don't have any issues with bubbles. And it comes out delicious every time. I've done this several times and it's been very consistent. And I am obviously not a professional chef, so I'm all about what's easy as a working full-time mom, you know, to be able to get a dessert that's delicious and easy to make and something you can use for entertaining as well. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and fill most of these, almost all the way to the top. So we fill these just about to the top. If there's little chunks of chocolate, you can keep stirring it, but I like the little specks of chocolate that's in it. I think it tastes delicious when I'm finished baking it and chilling it, which is what we'll have to do after these steps. So just kind of distribute across all of them, all 4. Ooh, it looks so delicious. There we go. So what I do next is I take the 1 quart Pyrex, and for every cup, I microwave it 1 minute. 1 minute per cup. Is it at the 4-minute mark? Let's start. It'll be a little bit over that, but at least 4 minutes then. Four minutes in the microwave. I have my 1 quart of boiling water ready to go. And this part is very simple. So what we do is we're going to give our creme brulee a bath. So I set all 4 in the dish I'm using here is a 13 by 9. And what I'm going to do is move the creme brulee into the dish. You can see it here. And with this quart of boiling water, I'm going to give it what's called a bath. So I'm going to pour it in on the corner here, careful to make sure that it doesn't touch any of our yummy chocolate creme brulee here. And I pour it until we fill it up, till it's a little past halfway on the ramekin dish here, which just takes up this entire quart. Makes it simple because I don't have to really measure. So I already have my 13 by 9 baking dish, and then I have my quart of boiling water. My oven's preheated, ready to go. So at this point, I open my oven and carefully take this and I put it in at 300 degrees. And once I have it in there, I put it in for 50 minutes. So now I have extra time to work on the rest of my dinner that I'm preparing for 4 people. Ooh, smell that. Smells wonderful. Now that I've taken it out of the oven, remember we had it in the oven for 300 degrees for 50 minutes. I set it down here and just let it cool. And what I like to do to have it cool faster, especially if you're short on time, is to grab some tongs. Grab my tongs, metal ones are great. And then I will move the ramekins over to the quart pack. And as you can see, it has a bit of a jiggle to it, so that's how you know it's ready. And I forgot to mention, before you put it in the oven, if for some reason there are a lot of bubbles, you could always take a spoon and just scrape the top layer off and the bubbles will be gone, and then you can put it in the oven. I like having little specks of chocolate mixed in mine. I like having an occasional bite of chocolate. But what we do at this point, once it cools at room temperature, then we move it to the refrigerator and we let it chill for about 2 hours. And then we sprinkle the sugar and we use the torch. Here it is, the creme brulee. Fun, simple chocolate creme brulee. So this is the final part, real easy. What we do is you go back to your granulated sugar and we take a regular spoon, maybe halfway fill it, and just sprinkle a little bit on top. Just do that on 4. And of course, if you have more than 4 guests, you could just double the recipe or triple it. You get the idea. The fun part is where we get our culinary torch. And we add that nice little topping of granulated pure sugar on top. Culinary torch. Safety features on. There we go. And just very lightly take the torch and just wave it over the granulated sugar and just watch it caramelize there on top. It makes a nice crust on top, perfect crack with your spoon, and enjoy. So here's our spoon where we get to enjoy the chocolate creme brulee. Hot out of the oven, chilled for 2 hours. You could chill it overnight. You could chill it for up to 2 to 3 days and then serve. So perfect way to prepare it for the same day, next day, or another day. Just kind of keep it moving there so that way it doesn't stay in one spot. Otherwise you will burn it like I just did on one of them, but hopefully you won't do that. Again, this is the culinary torch. I will put in my description where you can get one if you don't own one yourself. And there you have it. Chocolate creme brulee. My family loves it. I hope you love it. I hope your friends and family love it. Try the recipe. It's going to be in my description. Let me know what you think. Any suggestions, any ideas? Look forward to your feedback. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you joining me today.